Hello my friends, and welcome to a 24-hour reading vlog. I tried to do one of these last year or the year before, different stage of life. What I ended up doing is trying to read for a full 24 hours out of 48 hours. Like I would pause my reading timer when I was eating, if I wasn't reading or listening to something. This time we are just going to do 24 hours and try to read as much as possible. I have cleared off my schedule. I got a lot of work done the last couple of days in order to have time to read. One of my goals for my birthday month, one of the things I wanted to do was like a reading retreat type thing, and this is how I've decided to do it. So I will be honest, I don't know if I can stay up all night, but I'm gonna try to read as much as I can, stay up as late as I can. We will see. Like I mentioned in my last video where I was talking about my TBR jar, my iron is really low, so my energy is really low, so staying awake is very hard. But before I start reading, I want to let you know what I'm going to be reading. My main priority book to start is Supernova. I am about halfway through. I'm actually reading this via ebook, but I like moving my bookmark so I can visually see where I'm at. This is the third book in the Renegades series, which I started like 3 months ago. I've read all 3 books this year, which I'm realizing is what I need to do with series. Our main character, Nova, has infiltrated the Renegades, and she actually wants to assassinate the main guy. So in order to do so, she has infiltrated them. And I don't know where this book is gonna go, which is very interesting. It's definitely keeping my attention. She's making some choices I don't like, but I'm very curious to see how it's gonna play out in the end. So according to my Kobo, I think it says I have 3 hours left, which means less than 4 hours. It doesn't track the minutes until I'm under an hour. So we'll see. If I sit down and like actually concentrate on reading, it should go faster. So first goal. Second thing that I want to spend some time reading The Man Who Was Thursday. I am 40-ish pages in. This is not going to be a quick read. This is definitely not going to be an evening read for me, but I would like to make some progress. And then yesterday, for the first time, I listened to my first fiction audiobook of the year. Realized I really burnt myself out last year when we were moving between packing and unpacking, and I listened to a lot of audiobooks. And I've decided I'm not listening to fiction audiobooks on 1x speed. That was a goal for the year, but that's painfully slow, way slower than I can actually read a book. So yesterday I listened to book 5 in the series, A Series of Unfortunate Events. And so I've got book 6 queued up. I don't yet know how to say the title. The Airsats Elevator. I'm not sure if that's correct, but I will listen to it and I will find out. I thoroughly enjoyed book 5. I really enjoyed the narration style. So I'm excited to see where the story goes in book 6. The audiobook is only 4 hours. I don't know if it's just over 4 hours or just under. What does it say? I did queue up some more I borrowed the next few. It's 4.5 hours. So it should take me like under 3 hours to listen to. I think I did the book 5 at 1.75 speed. So these are where I'm starting. Would love to definitely finish both of these today. This will get me through some chores, some making of some food, etc. And welcome to a nice, cozy, relaxing reading vlog. It's a rainy day. It's the chilliest day we've had in a long time. I didn't do this on purpose, but like it's working out perfectly. So let's do this. My goal was to start at 10 a.m. so I think this will work out just perfect. just finished lunch, finished cleaning it up, so I thought I would do a reading check-in. I'm 67% through Supernova, 2 hours to go. About to start chapter 36, so let's move my bookmark. Lots of stuff is happening. Some things I didn't see coming, some sad things, and I really, like, I know kind of where I want it to go or what I want our main character to do, but I don't really know how she could get there. So I am curious to see where the book goes. No idea if, I mean, I'm assuming they'll work out okay, but chapter 36. So I read that many pages, or yeah, I read those. So I'm that far, making good progress. It's definitely an easy read, pretty quick. And then when I was making food, and cleaning up, I've been listening to this. I got 23% into a series of unfortunate events. I have 1 minute left in chapter 3, which, let me just say, this started out just hilarious. Also, the dedications are always for Beatrice. This one says, when we met, my life began. Soon afterward, yours ended. They're always very ominous. I'm gonna read you like the first page or two. They're not really, it's not spoilery to this book, but this kind of like sums up the entire series. I love the way it's narrated and just how the narrator talks to a person. It says, the book you are holding in your 2 hands right now, assuming that you are in fact holding this book and that you have only 2 hands, is one of 2 books in the world that will show you the difference between the word nervous and the word anxious. The other book, of course, is the dictionary, and if I were you, I would read that book instead. That's the first paragraph. Yeah, and I feel like it just gets better, but maybe I'll just leave it there. Yeah, just a thoroughly good time. Let's see, where am I? Oh yeah, I just listened to this. So I'm, well, almost on chapter 4, so that would be on page 59. So just that much of the book in a short amount of time. It doesn't take long to get through. Definitely want to work on both of these this afternoon. I have some laundry to do later, so I will be working on this then, and then whenever I make supper, which I haven't decided what I'm making yet today. And I might make banana bread. We'll see. And whenever I'm sitting and reading, I'll read this. I want to see if I can sit long enough now just to blast through this. We'll see if that's what happens or not. Okay, I was hoping to finish book 1 before 3:20, but this is where we're at. Book 1 is complete. Is there going to be more to the series? Is there going to be a spin-off series? This ending was cliffhangery. No one told me that. Overall thoughts, I actually enjoyed how it ended. A lot of people, unsuspected heroes in this, which I enjoyed. Overall, like a solid 4-star series for me. I think that's what I'm giving all of the books. I'm continuing to make some headway in this one. I am, how far am I here? 43% through. I'm on chapter 6. So just listening throughout the day. Next up, I have Spy Family Volume 13 out from the library. So I think I'm going to work on this via ebook. And then I want to pull out my TBR jar because there's no physical books that I feel super inspired to read. And when I created my TBR jar, the first 2 books I pulled out of there were really good. It's just over here. I still want to read a little bit of The Man Who Was Thursday, so I don't want to pull out a nonfiction or a classic here right now. I don't remember what colors they are, but I want something that I can like read decently quickly. So let's see here. Oh, this is a fantasy book. It says Exile. Where do I have? I just have to figure out where it is on my bookshelf somewhere. Exile. I've heard good things about this. This is a Realm Maker finalist. This is the first book in the Daughter of Arden series. This is published by Bandersnatch Books. I've had it for about a year now, so I'm glad this one got chosen. I didn't know what I was in the mood for, so helping the TBR jar is helping me just make a decision. So far, I feel very satisfied with the books that it's picked. So now I've got like 4 books to work on. I'm gonna read a little bit of this next, I think, just to make some progress. I gotta make supper soon. Still don't know what I'm making, but I'm gonna be listening when I do. Cruise through some Spy Family for fun, and then I will pick this one up. What is this? I will give you 3 days in which to choose your fate. No matter which choice Maylene made, it appeared bondage was the life her father laid before her. In this retelling of the Grimm's tale Made Maylene, war advances on the nation of Arden. To keep Princess Maylene safe, the king gives her 2 options: marriage to a prince she doesn't love, or retreat in a tower protected by the work of a stone sage. Hoping that her beloved Prince Melanor will come rescue her, Maylene chooses the tower. Okay, curious. I've never read that fairy tale, Made Maylene. I do have a Grimm's collection on my shelf that I do want to read at some point, so I should probably, maybe I'll pick that up after this. Put my bookmark in. But this looks good to be on the completed shelf, and I will do some more reading. Time for another little reading update. I just finished Spy Family, and I am really far into this book. Let me see. I want to say it was like 89%. Is it that far? 89%, yeah. So I have half an hour left. I'm on chapter 12. Let's see visually about where that is. Yeah, so visually, I do not have much left of this. Next time I'm listening to it, I will probably finish it. Making good progress. And then I'm about to start Exile, but I thought I would do a little update on Spy Family. I thought that I was going to be done the series after the last volume, but I got this one via ebook from the library, so I thought I would read it. I'm still kind of invested in the series, but nothing really happens. Like the actual story doesn't really progress. It's kind of like a soap at this point. It's just kind of going in circles, but there's still some characters I like, so I may continue reading it. I don't know. And I'm really enjoying the series of unfortunate events here. It's been years since I read the first 4 volumes, but I remember the general idea. Blasted through volume 5 yesterday, gonna blast through volume 6 today. Might even start on 7, depending how my day goes, how my evening here goes, and depending how long I stay up. But so far I'm feeling very good about how much progress I'm making today. And then I was looking at my Kobo, looking through the books that I have queued up. Every month, or I always have a collection on my Kobo called Month, and I throw in a ton of books that are either on my TBR for the month or are other books I'd like to get to. I think there is 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19. I have 19 books in my collection for this month, some of which I'm very excited about. I could easily pick up right now and start reading. Actually, like, now that I'm thinking about it, should I change my mind? I thought I had one queued up. There's 3 that I'm very excited about. There is Dearest Josephine, which someone recommended to me. I can't remember if it was in a video, where it was exactly, but that one sounded really interesting. It's letters written in 18 something. This guy writes these letters to this woman, and then kind of present day-ish, there's a woman with that same name that comes across these letters. It sounded interesting. Then there's Calculated by Nova McBee. I really want to read this one. This is a sci-fi trilogy, and since I have recently finished one, I think it's a trilogy. It's a sci-fi series, at least. I'd be interested in starting it. And then there's Unequal Affections, which is a Pride and Prejudice retelling, and I've only heard amazing things about this from a variety of people. So, like, which ones? Maybe I should look on Goodreads here and pick the shortest one out of the 3 and check a box. Sometimes that's really good to, I find, to pick some short books to check off and do the snowball effect. So Dearest Josephine, this one, how many pages does it have? 384 pages. Okay, so that's decently long. I'm assuming Calculated, now my internet's being really slow. I'm assuming Calculated will be about the same length. Since it's sci-fi, I feel like they're generally on the longer end, 380 pages. So those are a whopping 4 pages apart. And then what was the other one? Oh, totally blanking on the title here. Unequal Affections. If I had to guess, I would assume this one be closer to like the 300 page mark. 352 pages. They're all very close. Oh. Well, maybe I will queue up Unequal Affections since it's a teeny bit shorter. Yeah, like I said, I've only heard good things about it. This was published in 2014, and it's just making its rounds on BookTube right now this year. I feel like, at least the ones that I watch, or at least this is the first time I've kind of noticed it. So, what makes it different? When Elizabeth Bennet first knew Mr. Darcy, she despised him and was sure he felt the same. Angered by his pride and reserve, influenced by the lies of the charming Mr. Wickham, she never troubled herself to believe he was anything other than the worst of men, until one day he unexpectedly proposed. Okay, where does this change? Oh, my synopsis cuts off on here. Okay, let's go to the computer. Diverging from Jane Austen's classic novel Pride and Prejudice at the proposal, this story explores the kind of man Darcy is even before his proper humbling, and how such a man so full of pride, so much in love, might have behaved had Elizabeth chosen to accept his original proposal. Okay. Interesting. It's an interesting idea. It has 4.08 stars on Goodreads. How does it compare to the others? Calculated is 4.29 and Dearest is 3.79. So this is the one I will queue up, and when I want to read on here, I'll read this, but I'm going to get some of Exile read first. Okay, it has really good reviews, ratings on Goodreads, but just judging from the first like 25 pages of Exile, it's not what I'm in the mood for right now. Maybe I'll pick it up again, but let's pick another slip out of here. Try something else. It's really helping me get books off my shelf. Let's see what we'll get here. Not sure if this is a color that is what I want. Let's see. Oh yeah, no, we got a classic here. I don't want a classic. That was Doctor's Sweetheart by L.M. Montgomery. That one will go back in the jar after. Let's pick something else. Oh dear, okay, this I think is historical fiction. Pretty sure that's what this color is. What's it say? Across the Crying Sands. What is this book? I think this might be an ebook I have. Is it a NetGalley book? I'm gonna look this up. We'll figure it out. Yes, I had to look it up here. Across the Crying Sands by Jane Kirkpatrick is the first book in the Women of, what's that say? Cannon Beach. And it's got good ratings, although I don't think it's out yet. So I have it on my Kindle because that's currently the only way I can get NetGalley books until Kobo fixes their issues, which I think they're supposed to be working on. We've got a cast of characters here. And when is this set? What are we looking at here? In 1888. Mary is a cheerful, well-read, witty, and confident young woman who spends as much time as possible outdoors on the rugged Oregon coast, where she and her husband, John, are making a home. As Mary faces the challenge of young motherhood and struggles with questions about her family of origin, she feels the fearless girl she once was slipping away. Okay, so I don't really know. Let's see what the first sentence is. Looks like we got a bit of a poem here. Oops. First sentence of the prologue says, Wave Woman tells the story. Okay, I don't understand it. Let's go to the first sentence of chapter 1. Like a clarion call to adventure, Mary Edwards cherished the sound of the swooshing surf on the Golden Sands beach. Okay. Not the most interesting first sentence, but I will start reading this. Hopefully I'm not on a DNF streak. I'm gonna put Doctor's Sweetheart back in here and we will try Across the Crying Sands. See how it goes. Good morning, my friends. Let's do a reading check-in. I did not stay up all night last night. I'm not gonna lie. I also didn't think I was going to, but I did spend about 2+ hours more time reading than I would have. Stayed up a bit later, read longer. Normally I can't even read for like the hour before bed, and I did, and I stayed up later, and I woke up about an hour and a half earlier than normal and read, or I just didn't try to fall back asleep and I read. So let's see where I'm at here. Last night I decided I just wasn't in the mood for any of the books, and if you're doing a 24-hour readathon, you need to be reading something that you're enjoying, otherwise it's not going to catch your attention, right? I'm not going for pages necessarily here or anything, I'm just trying to read. So I picked up Betsy Tacy, and it's funny I say this because this is really bothering me actually. I didn't really enjoy this either. So I'm reading the first book, which is just Betsy and Tacy, and I'm 78 pages in out of 125 for the first book. I would like to finish this morning maybe, except I have a book that's catching my interest more, so we'll see. But I want to read Betsy Tacy because I hear the books kind of get better. We go like grow with Betsy and Tacy, and also Tib, and because these are mentioned in You've Got Mail, they've been like a bucket list series of mine forever, and I own this collection of 4 and the next volume, and I think maybe there's like another one, or there's 10 books in all. I'm not even sure. I would like to get to them all at some point, so starting to work through this. Starting first thing this morning was also the start of my Patreon page count reading challenge, or just reading challenge. People can set any goal they want. My goal is to read 750 pages over from Friday through to end of the day Monday, because it's a long weekend here. And I guess if I read from here, it'll be quicker because the font is just massive, and there's so many pictures throughout. Like every other page or so has some kind of picture, so that also makes the reading go quickly. So this is what I was reading before bed, and then I couldn't find my Kindle in the dark. I'm still not exactly sure where it went. I was charging it. I have legit no idea where I put it once I charged it. Interesting. So in the dark I grabbed my Kobo and I started reading Unequal Affections, and I am now 27% in, which it says that means I have 5 hours left to go. And we jump right in where the description said Mr. Darcy has proposed to Elizabeth pre this book, and now we're kind of getting her response and then continuing. And so the idea is, with his initial proposal, if she didn't refuse him, if she had accepted him, where would it go? It's interesting. I've read Pride and Prejudice I think 3 times, so like decently familiar with the story, although it's been a few years now since my last reading. It's making me want to read it again. Like, definitely tempted after I'm finished this to read Pride and Prejudice, even though Persuasion is on my stack to read for July, because I like that one more. But it's very fascinating just to take a classic and then partway through change things. Although, like, in some ways I'm like, how much is this going to change? Because she does ultimately accept his proposal anyway. So I'm very curious about that. So that's what I've been working on. This is what I want to continue, because I was reading it for a while this morning instead of finishing this one. I just kind of want to work through this. So that's my current plan, is maybe like one or both of these. My hope is I can just do this, but if I start to need a break or something, I can pick this up. And then I have still the Lemony Snicket. I finished the Earsats Elevator yesterday, and now I'm on to The Village. Don't know how far I am into this, not overly, although they're quick books. The last ones get longer, but this one is just over 4 hours, and I'm 29% through. So I need to empty the dishwasher, make myself a warm drink for the morning. So I'm gonna start by listening and then move on to one of these other books. I've got just under 2 hours left of this readathon, so let's see how much I can get done. it is 10 o'clock. The 24-hour readathon is officially over, and I think things went pretty well. I didn't do a good job of focusing on a single book and therefore like finishing a bunch. I have a few on the go right now, but let's give you an overview in very random order. I ended up finishing Betsy Tacy. I just wanted to check that box. So finished Betsy Tacy. Probably will read through the rest of these either this weekend with my page count reading challenge or throughout the rest of the month. I'd like to just check off this whole book. So then I've got Betsy Tacy and Tib. Betsy and Tacy go over the big hill and Betsy and Tacy go downtown left. Not much to report here. They meet Tib at the very end of the book. It's very much written. The girls are 5 and 6 at the time, and I feel like that's who it's written for. So obviously I'm not the target market, but I'm curious to continue to read about them. Then let's see, I read about 20 pages of The Man Who Was Thursday yesterday. Amy recently wrapped this up in her April wrap-up and talked about how once she stopped trying to analyze the book, it was better. So I'm just going into this just purely for the ride, not analyzing things, seeing how they go. Not really loving it, but it's okay. I'm checking off a classic that I want to read, reading a book from my literary mentor. So got some more progress in that. Then I finished book 6 in a series of unfortunate events, and I just checked. I have made it to 36% in this one, The Vile Village. It's a fun series. I'm enjoying how it's written. I'm a little annoyed I didn't continue this years ago, but here I am slowly making my way through and getting somewhere. So I'm curious to see after The Vile Village. I might continue or I might take a little break till next month. I don't know if I want to like finish the whole series this month. We'll see. There was another reference in book 7 about how he's pretty much always says, the narrator always says that kids shouldn't stay awake all night unless they're reading a really good book, which is fun. And then I ended up DNFing Exile at like 25 pages in, which because it has such good ratings, I feel conflicted about, but it's not the book for me at this time. Will it be? I don't know. I'm not in the mood for it. The writing isn't catching my attention at this time, so currently a DNF. I finished Supernova, which feels good because it's a huge book and that means I finished a series, which is great. So curious to know what's gonna, like, when was this published? It's been out for years, but I feel like she has left it open to continue the series. 2019. I'm going to have to look this up a bit because I feel like there could be a spin-off or more to it. And to my knowledge, there isn't yet. Then yesterday I started Across the Crying Sands, which does not have a cover because I have the NetGalley ARC, and I don't know how to change Kindle covers. I googled it last night, could tell I couldn't do it. This one I pulled out of the TBR jar along with Exile. How far am I into this? Waking up very, very slowly, like super slowly. I'm 12%. So we're on chapter 7. There's already 4 main characters, so I'm still at the point where I don't really know what's going on, feeling confused. Wow, this is like trying to go back to sleep. Okay, yeah. Hopefully I'm sure things will get a little bit more clear as we go, but it's a info dump kind of at the beginning. At the same time, I feel kind of like I don't know anything. We've got one of our main characters is marrying another one. I think she's 16 and he's 24. But this is set in 18 something or other, so it's not as scandalous as it would seem now. I don't really know what's going on, so I don't have much to report there. And then starting at like 5 this morning or so, I have been reading Unequal Affections. For the most part, I've made it up to 45%. I'm almost halfway. And it says I have 3 hours to go, so somewhere under 4 hours left. And I'm just intrigued by this idea of changing a classic book in a way that doesn't really change it. So halfway through, I see what she's been doing so far. I don't know what we're going to be doing for the other half. I'm curious. Also, Elizabeth Bennet's family, they make me cringe, as they do Mr. Darcy. Yeah, so I feel like that was a successful 24-hour reading challenge. I finished, let's see here, these books, finished one of the books in here, made progress in this one, made progress in this one, DNF'd this one, made progress in this ebook, and almost got halfway through this ebook. So, I mean, that's pretty successful. I'll take it. This was one of my goals for the month, was to have a little reading retreat, 24-hour readathon. So I'm glad I did it. I would highly recommend doing this in some format if you can, blocking off a day, half a day, a few hours, and just trying to read as much as you can for enjoyment, not just trying to get pages in. Oh, I forgot, I also read Spy Family because I don't have the physical copy. I forgot about it. So yeah, very successful. It feels good just to intentionally set aside some time to read and not feel guilty, at least too guilty, about not doing other things, because I tried to do those ahead of time. And now I'm entering into a page count reading challenge where I've tried to set my goal a little lower than I normally would so that I don't burn out from reading too much. But I've got to go do some blood work this afternoon, and I'm going to take this with me. I think that's going to be my first finish, other than maybe the audiobook. So thanks for joining me for this 24-hour reading challenge. Let me know if you've read any of these books, if you've ever done or want to do a 24-hour reading challenge. I'd love to hear about it. I will see you guys again soon in another video.